Hey boo, and welcome back to the Alchemical Oracle. What's good, boo? So it's your girl Lo back here today with another channeling, and I am so excited. It is so great. Happy Black History Month, guys. I know that last month sucked butt, but let's get into the greatness and the exaltation of our best and brightest in the POC community. And today we're going to be channeling Octavia Butler. Now look, I'm going to be glancing down a lot because my babes got so many great things that she accomplished in life, and she was one of our requested channelings. So, you know, I got to put her in because I didn't forget about you. So yeah, if I remember to take the cut, I'm going to show you guys the person who commented right here, who asked if I could channel her. I believe she was watching one of the Mommy Wada videos and asked about her. So she has been in my energy for about 2.5 months now, and it has just been so great, and she is so sweet. Like, oh my God, y'all, bro, okay. So Octavia Butler was an author, and she was the visionary of Black futurism, okay? And she did a lot of things around social change when it came to the way she wrote her books and a lot of other stuff that we're gonna get into. I think that she's just so freaking cool, y'all. Okay, so vibes, okay? So she was born in 1947 in Pasadena, California. And she was one of the most groundbreaking Black science fiction writers. And y'all know I'm all about science fiction, so this is just like right up my alley. She did face challenges because she was a Black woman in publishing, but bro, she definitely carved her own path out that thing, okay? And she overcame dyslexia, while also she had the commitment to writing daily. And that is so crazy, y'all, because let's just be real, dyslexia sucks. And I have to use ChatGPT or something to get over my dyslexia. So she definitely, keys in my book, okay? She attended Clarion science fiction and fantasy writers workshops. She was the first science fiction writer to receive a MacArthur Genius Grant, okay, vibes. And she won multiple Hugo and Nubella Awards, okay? My girl is eating down, okay? So now let me tell you about the books that Auntie got and then who she inspired real quick, so then we could tap into her channeling. So The Parable of Sorrow was wrote in 1993. It was a dystopian novel about a young Black woman. Her name was Lauren Olenia, who creates the spiritual philosophy Earthseed. Oh, that's right up my alley. Bro, was she writing about me? I need to read that book. Okay. The Kindred. Time travel novel about Dana, a modern Black woman forced to confront the brutal reality of slavery. And then 3, Dawn, book 1 of an ex-Genesis series, Lilith's Brood series, follows Lilith Lyapote, a Black woman who must navigate an uneasy alliance with an alien race. So she definitely had some cool things in her books that I thought were really inclusive, especially for her time and when she released her books, which were gender fluidity, non-binary identities, and alternative relationships. Okay. And then in Dawn, the alien race and human idea kind of mixes gender and sexuality, which is pretty cool. In Fledgling, they have polyamorous relationships and non-traditional relationships. So I thought that's super dope. And then advocating for marginalized communities like the LGBT, like Black people, like the Black community, as well as women in these spaces. And she predominantly resonates with Black and queer audiences. So I think that she is one of those people who spoke through her writing with real serious matters that happened in society. And I think that no matter who you are or where you are, you can speak the truth in your purpose and you can make a difference. And I think that for somebody who was a writer, you can still speak your truth. And I think sometimes when we are in these spiritual communities, sometimes it makes it seem like we have to be very spiritual in order to enact our purpose. But a lot of times, our purposed vehicle is something that is not spiritual at all. It's something that matters to us. It's something that is given to us to put our spiritual and our ethical, our political ideals in order to execute upon our purpose through that vehicle. And that could be doing hair, it could be writing a book, it could be being a teacher, it could be working on an oil rig. Whatever it is that you do, and whatever way that you innovate or you lighten a space or you show up in a room, do that shit with all you got and put your full authentic self into it. If that's what you love, if that's what you're passionate about. If you don't give a fuck about work, maybe you're just supposed to be a dad. Maybe you're just supposed to be a mom, an auntie, an uncle. Maybe you're just supposed to be that person that's a rock in people's family, that holds the family together. And even though you might not have done anything substantial in your life that you think about, you've impacted hundreds, if not thousands of people indirectly and directly by just being who you are. And I feel like people like this, I think we often forget about them, or we often don't see them at large. But I feel like this is something that she embodies while also doing something that on a larger scale. And she's done so much. So we're gonna tap in to her, and I can feel her coming up into my energy. So we just gonna get into the channeling, y'all. I hope that you enjoy this, and I'm gonna try to make sure I put little areas in here so that you can skip between the stuff, because I know that the intro was kind of long. Okay. Guys, when I tell you, I was very much looking forward to this. I had heard from some of the spirits that have been moving around in the astral and ancestral realm, honey, looking for spirits to come through for this specific channel. And honey, it just had to be me. It wasn't anybody else, okay? And I just had to be the one. And I've been excited. I've been hanging out with Lauren for like the past few weeks. And we've been talking here and there, okay, about some very cute things that she's preparing for you, okay? But let's get down into it. Because today what I want to talk to you about is not necessarily what it was like in my life or anything like that. I want to talk to you about a concept. And I feel like this concept is specific to our people. And the reason why is because there is so much separation and delineation and separatization in who we are as physical beings against other people who don't look like us, but have the same blood, have the same organs, and mostly have the same molecular structure. And those of us who are even more energetically attuned, tapped in with other entities that aren't even viscous, let alone physical, in this realm, and we're still able to communicate with them and deal with them in different dimensions. What I want to speak to you about is this. Are you Are you truly understanding that reality isn't just this spiritual thing of what you make it? That part is imminent. We all understand that and we know that, but we don't understand how that applies to our life. And something that I really wanted to maneuver in here to you guys is this. If you want to live in your purpose, then you must understand that that vehicle in your purpose will work for a certain version of you. All right, let's get into it because I really want to lock in with you guys for real, okay? Because I feel like for so many of us, it is hard for us to find our purpose, let alone be able to recognize when a vehicle is available, let alone understand how to realize when something isn't for us and when something is teaching us so that we could better learn how to maneuver this vehicle for our purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is something that I wanted to bring in for the people because I think that this is a mindset shift that could shift you from one energy to another. Way, way different. I'm talking about sweet sauce, baby. That's what Lauren calls it. But nonetheless, let's get back in here. So, when you have a particular vehicle, I'm going to give you the example that you are driving in a hoopty, okay? It's a beat up car, old car, 10 years old, you know, it always got some problems, but you could fix it real quick and keep your money kind of running low, but you know, it do what it do and you don't have a problem and it keep running, so you don't need to buy a new one, you know? It is what it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but sometimes it broke, so sometimes you gotta fix it type of thing, right? And so if you're rolling around creating your life in a hoopty, then what do you got? You got chaos. Not only do you have chaos, but you have inefficiencies. Now, this is the part that I want you to understand. For example, when I was a child in this life, I was very prolific when it came to creating stories. I loved writing, but I could not do it for long periods of time. I loved the reading, but it confused me so much that I would just make up the stories in my mind and I would have to keep up with these extrinsic stories until I gained the skills to put them on paper. I want you to understand that even today with the technology you have, there is so much less you have to do in order to create, and it's good. But I want you to understand that this hoopty right here is like having ADHD and dyslexia, but having a bigger purpose and trying to figure out how to just get out your own way with your plans, okay? So sometimes what you have to do is you got to get out this hoopty because the hoopty got its own issues and big old blind spots. And that's why you keep getting fender benders and shit. So you got to throw the hoopty out and get you a new car. You feel me? And your new car can't just be any old new car because it won't be any different than the hoopty with the blind spots because you already got big old gaping blind spots. Okay, in our example here with the dyslexia and ADHD. So what does that mean? That means your new hoopty, your new car, your new luxury car has to compensate for what you already have as a handicap. Now I'm calling it a handicap so that you understand how to prepare your reality. If someone doesn't have a leg, what do? Well, they have to learn how to maneuver life without that leg, and they'll probably try to go through their insurance to see if they can get a type of prosthetics to put on, right? Because then they'll be able to still walk, talk, run, act, do the shit that they need to do, like they got that leg, even though that leg gone, baby. It's not really there, but now you got a replacement. So now you can overcome the hardships of some of your disability. So then it makes it easier. The pain, the frustration, the anger that you might have with having to hop around everywhere because you only got one leg, or the arm strength that you got to have in order to get around because one of your legs not working or two of your legs not working. But now you got fake legs, basically, right? So now you got these engineered legs. You're basically a cyborg at this point. So now you just get up and you go around and you do what you got to do. But it's a lot easier than it was when you didn't have legs. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now you got this car. This car is your fundamental arc point, right? This hoopty, it wasn't doing it. But for you to get into this car, you need to identify your problems. Right now, for a lot of y'all who have purpose, you got big ass blind spots. I'm talking about blind spots. I mean, it's just gaping black holes up in here. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like you get warped up in that thing because you don't know what is the problem. And a lot of y'all have certain problems. A lot of y'all little neuro spicy, okay? A lot of y'all got a lot of things going on, but you got to understand what is disabling you from being in the space that you want to be, from being in the purpose that you want to be, from being in that spot. And if you're able to identify it, then you're able to combat it. You're able to overcome it. You're able to maneuver your environment, the way you work, your work ethic, the way you move, the way you love, the way you commune with your family, your friends, your spirits, whatever. The way that you orchestrate your life is going to be contingent on whatever disabilities you have. Does that make sense? Now, I'm using the word disability because what I am describing in the spirit is the inability to do something straightforward, okay? The inability to do something from point A to point B. A lot of the times when you have a disability, it means you can't do it cut and dry. You have to finagle that thing. You be up, down, round the corner, up this way, go in a loop for 5 minutes, and then you end up at the point that you're supposed to be, even if you passed it and had to come back, okay? Because some bodies, some minds, some energies, some spiritual entities don't work from point A to point B in a straight line. And once you understand how your energy moves, you will understand how to purposefully move yourself from one space to another. And the thing is you want to make it as smooth as possible. For example, if your old car required you to print out a map on what no longer exists, MapQuest, and drive around with your little MapQuest directions and a literal map with a literal Sharpie marker and a literal pen and a literal, what do you call them things? A compass, okay? Trying to measure stuff and figure out where your point is and where you at. It's going to take you a while to get where you're at, and you're probably going to get lost at least once or twice, if not very lost at some point, right? But if you get into a new car and your new car got a GPS, it got a space where you can put your smartphone, okay? Because now you got money to pay a smartphone bill. Now you're able to sit in luxurious seats. Maybe it has a massager, okay? Because you have anxiety and you need to just calm down. But then it might also have like a built-in something that allows you to smell fresh lavender, and that allows you to calm down while you're in this space of moving from one place to another with all this change happening, shifting you from one space to another. That will allow you to overcome certain things. Maybe the text is going to be a little bit different, and the way that the words bottom out is going to be a little bit different. So it's easier for you to keep your attention on the words, to keep your attention on certain images, on certain topics, on certain things, because that allows you to accrue everything together. Does that make sense? You are accommodating what you cannot do straight in order to make yourself as close to it. So you might not be a straight line, baby, but you might weave and bob. But that's a little bit better than going all out into the direction over there to have to come back, and that took you 6 months. When this was only supposed to take you like 2 weeks. Does that make sense? But it's getting from one place to another and learning how to operate in a certain type of way. And you have to understand, in our community, we are not taught this because we do not know this, because we were not taught how to know this. And because we were not taught how to know this, we were disempowered in knowing it when we did. And that means that each lineage has at least one person who puts a piece of the puzzle back together, at least a few pieces in their lifetime, that allows the next generation to do it a little bit better, and the next generation to do it a little bit better, and the next generation to do it a little bit better. But aren't you just tired of being a part of the generation that does it just a little bit better? Clap that shit all the way together. That is how you make yourself great, because you're able to completely mold your reality around what is disabling you. And that allows you to do things at an astronomical rate than you were able to do it before. And the reason why is because you're no longer in the constructs that box you in. You're no longer getting sucked into this black hole and getting sucked into that black hole and getting pushed out of that white hole and just moving all around in different spaces, energies, and dimensions. When you are just chaotic as shit, you don't even look like a human anymore. You just look like blobs stretching about screaming. So how about we just put it all back together? We get rid of everything, that's shadow work, and then we start realizing what part of us is not functioning in the most efficient way. It's not about what's wrong with us. It's about what's not functioning properly in this way that I am not able to get a consistent result. Now, does that mean that there's a mistake made for you? Absolutely not. It means that in the reality, the country, and the society we live in, the way that we function is not the normal way that other people function, which means that this world, society, area in our life, the way that everything is set up is not designed for us, which means what do we need to do? We need to accommodate that in our life, which means we might need to surround ourselves with more people who can understand our experience or give compassion to our experience and not judge us. We might need to gain more tools from people who have the same type of disability as us, while also comparing that to people who don't, so we can understand where the gap is for why we are unable to be consistent. Then we need to take steps of action to create systems that are repeatable. In order to do something consistently and get consistent results, there must be a system, and that system must be applied effectively. And if it is not applied effectively, the results may vary. And that's exactly the problem that we're having right now. Is that incorrect? So then the question is, what do you do differently if what you have done before has yet to work, or were you not consistent long enough? So these are the questions you have, but you also have to understand that there's a mindset that goes with it, and that mindset is needed in order to see the desired result. And the mindset of that is, I am not broken, I am different. And because I am not broken and I am different, and the way my reality does not subscribe to the way that I am different, I have to bend the rules of reality to effectively create what I need in order for my difference to make sense and maneuver effectively in the reality that I currently exist in. And what that means is, if I'm a writer and I have dyslexia, that means it's going to be really hard for me to write. But if I have a computer, I can make that computer talk back to me with the words so that I can hear it. I can change the font of my text in my writing program so that it's easier for me to stay consistent and read with all the letters not mobbling together to just be something else. But you know what also comes with dyslexia is imagination. So it assists me in being able to imagine things outside of the constructs of the box, but it also disables me to look at things within a construct in a box. So therefore, I have to understand that in order for me to create constructs in a box while also imagining things without constructs in a box, I need a system in order to take those non-constructed things into a concentrated, constructed environment, that which I can maneuver effectively without getting lost, because I, myself, my body does not subscribe to those constructs. Does that make sense? And that is just an example because that's something I dealt with in life, but it may be different for you. For you, it may be victim mentality. For you, it may be some type of generational curse that's your disability. For you, it may be if you were, let's say, for example, a victim of abuse. If you were a victim of abuse, then the way that that person or that abuse molded your mind and the way that you view reality is your disability until you figure out how to heal it. So as you're healing it, you're also seeing what parts of you have sustained permanent damage. Okay. And I'm just being real with you. There is some spaces where it's just gonna have permanent damage, but you know what? That's okay. That's a part of life. If a tree is growing a branch and that branch gets struck by lightning and it fall off, at least the tree didn't burn down, but now it's one less branch. And that where that branch fell off, the tree is going to scar. Okay, so I want you to think about it like that. Like, you are prolific. Losing one thing doesn't mean that you can't overcome it and have another. The thing is that you need to recognize it, to see what's happening to you, to effectively execute it, and then build on it. That now it became a foundation, it became your strength versus your weakness. So this is pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today. I think that for you, you can do it, and you can elevate yourself in such a way that it doesn't matter in what way you are looking at life. It matters that you are able to identify, consistently execute a plan, and get the results consistently. And when you're able to do that, no matter in what way you do it or what system you use, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But if you keep needing to be fixed, then it's broken. So you need to figure out where the blockage is, where the gap is, where the thing is that's pulling you apart. Pull that apart and figure out how to disable it and get you into a better vehicle where it is fully locked in, and you are fully locked into a certain position where you're able to see more effectively how to create the environment that you need. Okay? I love you. I hope that this was helpful to you. And I will see you guys on the next one. I'm sorry, like as soon as I came down, the recording stopped. But what I'm telling y'all, they ain't down. We ain't down on y'all. What is it, honey? Yes. Okay, Black History Month is kicking off with some great channelings. If you haven't already seen the Huey P. Newton channeling, definitely go and check that out. Oh, y'all, that was beautiful. Okay. I couldn't have said it better myself. If you have any more questions for Octavia Butler, definitely put them down in the comments. If there's a spirit that you would like to hear from in this series, definitely put it down in the comments below. Oh my goodness, that was just so beautiful. I love when the ancestors come through and just drop a whole nugget on your ass with them bows, bro. That ate down so good. She did that. Okay. So I hope that you continue to rise, to vibe, and to move with your highest I. If you would like to book a channel message or a reading with me, you can definitely go to my link in bio at thealchemicaloracle.com or go to my link tree to find their booking and go to services, and you can lock in a service there. If you would like to become a student, you can definitely do that as well. Subscribe to my email list to learn more about that. And guys, this is just so beautiful because when I am telling you that it is just bro, I love channeling spirits. They are like so dope and they be coming through so clear. Like it's just undeniable, bro. Undeniable. It's just it eats down so good. So I hope that this spoke to you. If it did, let me know in the comments and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.